Hey, what's going on, guys? Shadows here. Bring you something unique, something different. I swear I say this every time I'm doing like a different video, but if you can't tell from reading the title, this is actually a video discussing the up and coming Gen 4 remakes, mainly the Legends of Arceus. So, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and hit that notification bell so you always know when I'm uploading. Because I have a few videos in mind for like the upcoming remakes and everything. So keep in tune. I'll be making stuff. So let's start. This is pretty much this first episode is gonna be like what I want to see in the games. It's gonna be like a few things, a few little key things, not necessarily game mechanics, but more towards story wise in the Legend of Arceus. Almost like the Legend of Zelda, if you actually think about it. But let's get into the first thing. I know with the announcement of Gen 4 remakes, the Legend of Arceus it's gonna hit me. It's hitting that nostalgia button for me. It really is. I know I grew up playing Diamond and Pearl, like for days. I think that's the one. I think that one in particular holds like a special place. That generation in itself holds like a special place in my heart. I know from getting like my ass kicked by Cynthia to actually being like the only Pokemon game where I actually completed the decks, and I was actually proud about that. So I have like high expectation when it comes to like the Legend of Arceus and like the Gen 4 remakes. Bright Diamond and Sparkling Pearl? So the one thing, let's start with the first thing I want to see. Now this one, I'm not putting them in order of what I want to see the most, but more like a order of list what came to mind when I thought about it. Number one, I want to see Primal Dialga, Primal Palkia, Primal Giratina, maybe Primal Regigigas, and maybe Primal Arceus or some variation of something like that. In case you're not aware that the the thing of Primal Dialga, it was actually not in like a main game line. It was actually in a Pokemon dungeon mystery game where you encounter Primal Dialga. So since that's already been like semi canon within the Pokemon franchise, not necessarily in the game, I kind of want to see it. I think it was like Skyward. It was the it had to be the ones after Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. So I think it was Skyward something or huh. I'll put it up on like the video here, but I want to see that. It's like pretty much this game, The Legend of Arceus, is supposed to be like all the way back in the before like most of the games canon log, and so we got to see like what's the game is called, The Legend of Arceus. What makes Arceus such a legendary being to the Sinnoh region? So I want to see like an epicness that comes with like maybe Primal, maybe like seeing Arceus full power. I don't know. It's like it kind of makes sense. Like if they have Primal forms that, you know, the fucking meme of, oh yeah, this 10-year-old kid has God at his disposal, just walking on the leash like it's a normal day. But it can kind of make sense that like, oh, the creation trio and Arceus, they someone nerfed themselves. We already know Regigigas is like nerfed as it is. That it was slow start. It's not as powerful as it once was. But like, what if the other four are technically nerfed in its own way? That instead of like with all the energy that went into making the universe, Arceus is no longer that prime or that mega Arceus that you see in fan art of Dialga and Palkia. They probably no longer need that power since they created like time and space, or like it's no reason for them to carry that. And this could like Legend of Arceus could be like the story of like them reclining in strength, or them using their strength and like showing the people the inhabitants of Sinnoh like their deities in the Pokemon franchise. I'm just saying, like, I just want to see some awesome stuff when it comes to those four particularly. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, megas, 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 this mega's coming here, this mega's coming here. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chief. And it's not necessarily the Legend of Arceus, but this is like the whole Gen 4 remakes. I highly doubt that megas will be coming. Highly doubt. Because Game Freak said, oh, Gen 8, y'all thought y'all was getting megas? Yeet. We never got megas. People had high hopes that they were going to come in like DLC. Maybe they will at the very end of the game's life. Like, oh, DLC, now you can use megas. But, like, from the main time frame from where the game ran, no megas at all. So I don't expect to see megas in Diamond and Pearl. I know there's like the whole thing with multiple timelines. I'm actually thinking about making a video about different timelines, so let me know if you guys want to see that in the comment section down below. But yeah, I don't think megas are going to be coming. I don't think Z moves are going to be coming. I think Dynamax is the most plausible, but I still don't see that coming in at all. Because the whole thing around like Gen 4 was like the history of Pokemon. So with those being more newer concepts, I should say, like maybe not the Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution is kind of the oldest out of them, I believe. I don't think that Dynamax is that old. Z-moves were you can probably say it's between Dynamax and Z-moves in terms of like Pokemon game timeline history. Which one is the oldest? I would say more line Z moves at that point because it's like a thing unique to Alola. Maybe. It's weird. But let's go into the second thing I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see like the construction of the Regigigas temple. Like I know that spot in like in the snowy parts of Sinnoh. I've been there many times. Brought my capture legend squad, a whole party of Crobats. I mean, whole party of Gobats and one Crobat to kill capture every legendary. I do remember that out of Gen 4. And nostalgia again, that's nostalgia. And Regigigas. So we know Regigigas is in like the temple. That he's there. He's in like a more powered down state, even more than like Slow Start. And the whole thing could be that after Regigigas actually pulled the continents to where they need to be or fix everything, made the we can't even call it the Regi trios anymore, but made the Regis, he went to an inert state in Sinnoh. So it could just be like, as like a player, you randomly encounter, like you not even encounter, you just see Regigigas just towering in like a location, and you see like maybe a settlement like around it, like okay, this is like a very powerful Pokemon that we worship, and we're gonna dedicate time to building a shrine around it. That you actually see like people actually, this would be cool, you actually see people like building stuff around Regigigas, and that when you actually encounter him, or like when you actually encounter him in the Gen 4 remakes, when he actually steps, you see like the earth that he stood in place for, actually kind of somewhat preserved, and it's like architecture built around him. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I want to see that because like maybe like and with the construction of the Regigigas temple, it can maybe they can maybe hint at like possible reason why the Regi trio that we know are in Hoenn, and we have the two newer Regis in Galar. Maybe they can say like, oh, Regigigas, the people who settled around Regigigas, maybe they were more of like a nomadic tribe, and they traveled with Regigigas to different regions as he was pulling them. And like, anytime he created a Regi, they dedicated it and made a shrine for them, because that's something that all the Regis have. They individually have their own shrines within their respective regions. And it's not like how the Hoopa thing, like, oh, you get a wormhole and there's Reggie Steel. No, there's a specific Reggie Steel shrine in Hoenn for Reggie Steel. There's a specific Rock shrine in Hoenn. There's a specific Reggie Ice temple in Hoenn. There's a specific Reggie Draco temple in Galar, and there's a specific one for Reggie Alecki in Galar. So maybe we can see like the people who built them are the same people who built the one for Regigigas, and it'll be a cool way for Game Freak to actually kind of possible more Reggies. Like you might go down a wing, you see like, okay, I never seen this like Reggie. Like you know how each Reggie has like the different pose formations. Like you might see different ones. Like okay, I never seen that one before. Maybe it's a hint at like a Reggie. Let's say Reggie Pyro. Hey yo, I'm coining that now. Nintendo, if you want this, yo, give me some credit. Reggie Pyro, that sounds kind of lit. Reggie Abyss, like a Reggie Yami, or it's for Dark type, but anyways, like oh Reggie Soul for Fire. Anyway, I'm gonna beside myself. But yeah, like maybe like we get more into Regigigas, the history of Regigigas, and why and then maybe we can actually see Regigigas actually move into the spot where it's laid dormant for the rest of his life until some kid throw a Pokeball at it. Get me? Alright. Going into number 3. Again, this is not in order. This is just like as I was thinking about him. I want to see the construction of the Spear Peeler slash, and this is a weird slash, but the Hall of Origins. I feel like the Hall of Origins is more thing Arceus makes on top of Spear Peeler, but I feel like Spear Peeler could be a scene that okay, we worship Reggie. I mean, we worship. We got Reggie on the mind. We worship Arceus, so we're gonna build upon the tallest mountain and build the shrine dedicated to the trio. And fucking Giratina. Fuck Giratina. Ain't nobody want to see him. But dedicated to all three of them, and then upon seeing this, or maybe they actually knew that the origin halls were above that, so what they did was build something underneath it, that where Arceus usually makes it, to like worship him. Because again, this is the Legend of Arceus, so I'm expecting a lot more history, lore when it comes to Arceus itself. So that could be like a cool concept. Like you could be tasked with getting like certain Pokemon to help supply. Because we do know Pokemon. Like if you look at the Pokemon timeline and construction. I mean not construction, but Pokemon history timeline. Conkeldurr did teach people how to use concrete, so it could be a thing where we see like the reason why you're catching Pokemon is because you need certain Pokemon to help you build certain things within the region dedicated to this, or you're learning more about the concept of Pokemon. Like this could be like pre-Pokemon battles, where it's like just a new concept, and like the show, like how Alola does like the tribal battles to celebrate the Tapus. You could be like, okay, go catch Pokemon, and we're gonna celebrate Arceus by that sounds fucked up when you think about it. We're gonna celebrate the god by battling, using his creations to battle each other. Even though there's like, if you watch Game Theory, the whole thing that Pokemon do evolve into humans, that's a whole nother topic. So we're gonna separate him from now. I don't want to touch that subject. That's a toxic subject as it is. Okay. Let's go into number 4. I have 8 things, so we're halfway there. 4, I want to see Celestial Town in the Solaceon Ruins. So if they do not do anything, for Celestial Town, I'm gonna be pissed. I remember coming here, going to Celestial Town as a kid in Diamond and Pearl, and we're like, okay, we're here because of Cynthia's mother, and to tell her stuff and get information, and that's it. I had to go through that fucking fog for this. That horrible game mechanic where fog fucks up accuracy. Oh, please do not add that back. They're probably gonna add that back. Fuck. Anyway, but yeah, like do something with Celestial Town. This town is dedicated in the game for like the history of Pokemon, the legendary trios. Even though they show only Dialga and Palkia and like the Lake trios, it's supposed to be like the overall history of Sinnoh within this town. I would love if they make this town that you're in Celestial Town. Like if like in the trailer that you see, like the town you're running out, make that Celestial Town. Make that like, oh yeah, this is Celestial Town. Instead of like, what was the town? I want to say Little. It's not Little Root. I think that's like for Hoenn. But whatever the starting city in like the normal games, make this the starting city, Celestial Town, where you like get information from like the chieftain or the elder and talking about like history of such and such, and you guys are writing it down, making temples, making the ruins. That would be gold. That would be so fucking epic in Legend of Arceus. I would love to see that. Okay, this one is gonna be like a little short one because it kind of feeds off of like the other one, but I want to see stuff about the lakes. I know in the game we was mainly on like a mountain range, but Sinnoh does have like a lot of lakes within the games, so I kind of want to see like how can I put this? Not necessarily. I do want to see like the Lake Trio in the games, but I want to see like more of the habitat. Cause like when it comes to the lakes, you really don't get that much interaction with it. Like okay, you go there a few times. You go to one when it's like drained, and then you go back when it's water back in there, and then you go there just to catch the Lake Trio. I mean the Lake Trio. But there's not much about the lakes. Like maybe having like a specific like area, like because like looking at the map right now, like you have one lake to the left, you have like the region of Sinnoh, the lakes make a perfect triangle. Again, going back to the Sinnoh is actually a Legend of Arceus is actually the third part of Legend of Zelda, but and you got the lakes being the Triforce. But yeah, like having something dealing with that, like okay, you gotta run from this lake to this lake to this lake to this lake. I doubt that they're like put into like in the islands, because most of the islands were events. And again, like during back in the time period, I do have like an idea where the time period of the game take place, and I'm thinking about I'm probably gonna make that a video later on. But like, I know island travel is like somewhat of a long process. Well, then again, it's Pokemon, so you can literally hop on like a fucking Lapras or a Sharpedo and like, yo, take me to this island. Anyway, so that's besides the point. But yeah, there's maybe something like a little bit more with the lakes within the whole game. Going to number six. This is again gonna be another one, short one. I want to see Turnback Cave. I want to see the people interact with the Turnback Cave. Now this is gonna be like I don't want it to be like how Giratina is like the semi end gold and platinum, like oh it's the big bad before the Elite Four. Even though you beat Cyrus, then you had to battle Giratina to stop like to protect the world. I want it to be like more of like people going to Turnback Cave, or how he got his name. Like people go into this cave and like, okay, well, we're gonna explore this cave because this is something that we didn't make. And Giratina like dipping, like having people go into like the distortion world, and then seeing how messed up that is. Maybe people seeing Giratina get attacked by Giratina, and people just like, yo, if you go into that cave, turn back. Do not go into that cave. That cave is not safe. You don't want the smoke from Giratina. And maybe that's how the because we see in Celestial Town that the Palkia and Dialga is like, and the Lake Trio are like more of the front runners within the history of that town. Maybe this is where the concept that Giratina is like the evil Pokemon, evil Pokemon god, and that through like maybe misunderstanding with people, entering its like home and layer into like the distortion world, that people get like, okay, this Pokemon is evil, and that okay, it rivals like Palkia and Dialga, so it must be like a part of the creation trio. So it must be like similar. It's pretty much like the story of I think it would be Christianity. I don't think it's like Christianity is, again, this is not a thing about religions, but it's more towards like the lore, and it's like it's really is when it comes to this story is like so many different religions. It has a variation of this, but I'm just gonna refer to like the Christianity one, where it being like Giratina is represented as Lucifer, being like one of the creations and being like punished by the overall deity. And let's say Palkia and Dialga are Michael and Raphael. I think I'm doing this right. My years of watching Supernatural has been paying off, but like something like that. Maybe that's how the concept of Giratina being evil comes around, and the name was Turnback Cave. But I kind of want to go to Turnback Cave and Legend of Arceus. Yeah, I'm just getting like goosebumps thinking about this. Like just thinking about this game is what's gonna make me sit down and like, you know what? I need to get me a Switch. I'm gonna have to give me a Switch. But okay, we're gonna head into number 7. One more before the last one, and the last one is kind of like a special treat for you guys. But it's this one is gonna be more towards, I want to see something with how do you pronounce it? Solaceon Ruins. Now you're probably thinking like, okay, what's so special about that? It's the place where it's written in unknown. Like, unknown is Pokemon history is so fucking weird. Arceus was created by unknowns, and then Arceus created everything, and then Arceus so unknown has a big part in like the lore of Arceus. So I can kind of see, I guarantee that we're gonna go into like Solace or Solaceon Ruins. I'm just gonna pronounce it like that. Into those ruins, maybe read, like the people can still read unknown, because technically Cynthia can read the language of unknown, and she's from in theory Celestial City, which praises like the legends of Sinnoh. So maybe the characters, like we can read it as well, or maybe we're the one who like wrote it down, and it's like how to read it is passed down through the people of Celestial City, Celestial Town, I should say. Even though we all know it's just like letters, and the English letters put it into like weird things. But again, I think and then look, like just looking up the text for the unknown origins, it says friendship, all lives touch others, lives to create something anew and alive. So maybe we can learn like what does that mean. Like if you're reading it, you know what it means. Like, okay, friendship. Once you interacting with another, like when forming friendship, you interact with another person's life, and that brings new life into the world. like in not in forms of like a person, but new life in terms of like ideas and other stuff. But like, what does it mean for the people who wrote it down? That could be like another thing we can explore within the game, which I feel like will be like if this game is not about Pokemon battle and it's about exploration. I want to explore this shit. I want to know about this. I want to dive deep into the history of Pokemon. I want to be like, yo, can we get a game like this every generation where we just go to a different region, explore the history? That would be fucking litty as fuck. Alright. For number 8, looking up this is something like very interesting I want to see. It's actually, I'm going to go to the, it wouldn't be a town yet, but I want to go to the area of Floaroma town. Because like when you look at the history and like the lore of Floaroma town, back in the day before people actually could settle there, the people who settled there used to plant flowers every day because it was like a barren wasteland. Maybe in the game of Legend Arceus, it's like I wouldn't say like a desert, more of a. Cause deserts, you couldn't plant flowers in desert because the soil wouldn't support the kind of flowers they have there. More like a I can't even say like a burned down fort. It's weird. I forgot the terminology for it. Let's just say wasteland. I think wasteland is like the closest thing in terminologies that I can think of right now. But like a wasteland. Like the soil is hard, like there's barely any water. When you look at the map, there's no water at all for these plants or anything. There's like rocks, there's like ash, there's barely anything. But through like planting flowers, you put nutrients into the soil, which gave life into like the the area where the city is. And that's what like brought about Shaman. And maybe this is how, maybe you go to this town, and during that event, you get to see the shaman bring life into it. Maybe that's what it is, and like, that could be like really big, cause like, again, like in Sinnoh, there's a few towns where it's like small towns, small little areas, which has like lore significance, but not gameplay significance. Because you go into Flora Town, and you cannot tell me that you go into Flora Town and you just walk around like, oh, I like this town. No, you go into there, make a hard right. You go into there, make a hard right into the Pokemon Center, go out, go up, make another hard right, go into the the Pokemart, go down and make another right and leave the fucking town. You cannot tell me you explore that town like I don't care what you say. People go all the way up to the right so they can go to the windmills. That's all. That's Florora town. It's just like a stop mark in between and before like a big boss battle. Pretty much. That's how I always viewed it. That like, okay, let's say you can't beat the person at the door yet. You can train, heal up, and then you can go and then progress with the story. There's not much you can really do in this town. It's just flowers. I don't mean like there's something wrong with it. And it was until like the whole why keep saying Celebi? The shaman thing where it came about. So that could be like a very cool concept that the kid like into the Legend of Arceus. And let me know what you guys think. Like, I know there's probably a few other things I probably missed. Maybe like the Spirit's Tomb thing. Maybe the what else happened? Maybe the Heatran. Maybe Steel Island, like the Steel Ores. Like, it's a few stuff in Sinnoh overall that, in terms of like history, it has great significance. But like overall gameplay, like you just went by it. Like, who cares? And maybe that's what Legend of Arceus is going to be like. Oh yeah, you get to play the normal way through Gen 4 remakes, but this is going to be more, Legend of Arceus is going to be more towards like the overall history of the game and the history of the franchise. I like that. I'm going to end the video on like that. Let me know in the comment section down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. I know this video is going to take a while just to edit and come out. Woo! And let me know if you guys want to see like more Gen 4 content. I have a few more videos in mind, so be on the lookout for that. Enjoy my goddamn. Ooh, this video took a lot out of me. Enjoy the fucking Xenoverse content playlist. And also hit up Greed. Go to Greed Gaming and tell them that Shadow said I'll see you in Sinnoh. Bro, tell them I want all the smoke. We versus Solak versus whatever. Playthrough co-op. We going back to Sinnoh. Tell him that we're going back to Sinnoh. If you know Greed Gaming, if you don't, I'm gonna put his channel description in the comment section below. Comment on his video. We're going back to Sinnoh. And Shadow said you two are going back to Sinnoh. That's all I want to hear. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.